Hey, what's up, Facebook? What's up, brothers? This is Mike, your mentor, coming at you pretty late tonight. I apologize. This is outside of my normal 9 o'clock posting time. If you're up, I don't know what you're doing up. I just actually got done with a class for my business, just trying to sharpen my skill sets with some marketing stuff. So that was pretty good. But yeah, today is My Life Monday. So if for some reason you're on here, welcome. If you're catching the replay, shout out to you as well. I want to do a little something different today for My Life Monday. But before I do that, if you're coming across this and you're new to my page, the basic premise is I went through a lot of tough things as a kid. Grew up in a dysfunctional home. Just had to go through some tragic things that really took a toll on me. Now that I'm older and I'm looking back on my life, I wonder and I ask God the question, hey, why was someone who's born into a situation like me, why can they make something out of their lives? Why can they have a family of their own? Why can they, have a good job? Why can they, be try to be an active member of their community? And not to say that I'm perfect, because by no means I'm not. And if you've been following this page for a while, uh, I make no qualms about that, and I've shared some pretty intimate and vulnerable stuff about my failures as a man, as a husband. But yeah, looking back on my life, and God showed me a number of things, but the two things that He really showed me is one, without God's grace, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be alive. So I praise Him and thank Him for that. And two, um, is He put mentors in my life through the books I was reading these stories of these people who went through experiences much like mine, if not worse, and yet they were able to get up to overcome those things and to live full lives, lives of expectation, lives where they affected others. And that gave me a lot of hope. I figured if those people could do it, then I could do it. And two, the mentors that he physically put in my life, with friends, dads, with other people, other guys, coaches that, took me by the side and refused to give up on me. They held me to a higher standard. Uh, they called things out of my life. They spoke vision into me and said that I would do, great things, that I would make a difference in people's lives. And I needed that, especially from strong male figures, because I wasn't getting that uh, directly at home, growing up without a father. So that's kind of my story. Uh, in just I guess a quick 2 minutes. But My Life Monday, right? So this is where I usually share about things that have happened uh, in my week. But I really struggle with this because I tend to be more of a more private person. I know that that's ironic since I'm doing a Facebook Live. And this all came out of the premise of something God asked me to do a couple years ago, and I was just disobedient. And now here we are in 2019. I decided to stop running away from that calling that was on my life, to mentor men, and to share the things that I've been through, to give others hope, just like men did in my life growing up. So I'm answering that call by doing these. And me being a private person, this part of sharing about my life can somewhat be difficult. But I was sitting down with one of the guys that I mentor, and he gave me some good wisdom, right? Because wisdom isn't biased. It doesn't discriminate. It knows nothing about age. Doesn't care about your sex, your color, your race, or your religion. Truth is truth. And he said to me, well, why does it have to be about you? It doesn't have to be about you. It can be about God and what He's done in your life. So for tonight's My Life Monday, I kind of want to give you guys some updates about some things that have been going on behind the scenes as a direct result of this page. because I think they're pretty cool, and I'm gonna brag on God a little bit for the things that He's doing. So the first thing, right, in being obedient in starting this page is just the number of men that have reached out to me uh, behind the scenes and asked for me to just sit down with them and listen, right? Listen to what's going on in their life without any judgment. To offer up advice if they ask for it, but really, uh, you know, people just need a voice that's going to listen so that they can unload this stuff, right? Especially men, because we will carry it to our graves, not telling anybody these things that cause us shame, these things that have caused us hurt, whether it's stuff we've done to other people or to ourselves. Um, so yeah, I've had the privilege of meeting with several guys, and helping them just kind of walk through some things, look at their relationships differently, look at their marriages differently, think about the things that they've been given stewardship over in their lives, and what a responsibility that is. In it's good to have those people in your life, right? Like I say this all the time on this page, these videos. You got to have someone in your life that you can go to, that you can be completely open and honest with, and that they can give you objective advice, right? Because we all have blind spots, and unless we're intentional about seeking them out, we're not going to find them. So that's the first praise, right? It's just the stuff that God's doing in men's lives individually, saving their marriages, encouraging guys to not give up and throw in the towel, but to go the extra mile, and to just talk to them about what it really means to honor their wives and to serve their wives. And there's been some tremendous breakthroughs in guys' lives, and it's really cool to see that, and to watch God work in the midst of that. And all these guys, they're not believers, some of them I don't think have any relationship with God, and that's fine, because that's not what it's about. This one recurring theme that God's been putting on my heart this year is, to just love people where they're at. It doesn't matter. I'm just called to love people where they're at. So I'm going to do the best that I know how to do when it comes to that. If you notice, I'm being a little quieter than I usually am, just because it's so late. Kids are sleeping. Don't want to wake anybody up. But the second thing I want to share with you guys is like, this is just crazy, man. Um, the way that God works. So I don't even know. It must have been like maybe a month ago, maybe 5 weeks ago. Uh, Maybe even longer than that. Maybe 2 months. Yeah, I think it's been 2 months, maybe 9 weeks. That I had somebody hit me up behind the scenes, and I get a because of these videos. I get, I guess, maybe what would be considered a lot of friend requests. People want to see these things. They want to hear what I'm saying. You guys are sharing these things all around the world. I mean, all around the world. It's crazy, right? The difference that these videos are making in people's lives, which is awesome. And it's a testimony to you guys, sharing this and helping me get these messages out. So I had somebody from India reach out to me, and they asked me if I'd be willing to share, my story, my testimony with a group of people. And man, I mean, they're from India, right? So first there's that, they know English, but at first it was hard for me to understand because of the accents, was thick. They speak kind of fast, and just to really slow down and listen, and also discern, what the motive of this person was, and all they wanted me to do was to share my testimony with a group of people. And I told God, all right, this is your thing, right? You put it on my heart 3 years ago. I'm just going to be obedient and go and do uh, whatever you tell me to do with this thing. It's yours. And I really felt like God wanted me to move forward with sharing my story. It didn't matter where these people were. Now, India, if you don't know, is 10 hours ahead of where I'm at. So I agreed to do this. And so it's 1 o'clock in the morning is my first time of many sharing my story with these people in India. And it's a group of pastors in India, and it's this young guy whose name is Kumar, and he's super excited, and he has me share with these pastors, and then God just impresses upon me to ask them if any of them have any prayer requests, and so I prayed for them, and it was just cool, good night, right? Like no, I, it is a big deal, but I'm just laid back, so I'm like, no big deal, right? I'm just being obedient, right, to what God's calling me to do. So, I start talking to Kumar more, and I'm just like, hey man, like, how did you like hear about me? Like, you think I would have asked this before I agreed to speak, but I didn't. And he's like, yeah, brother, he's like, I was praying one night, and I was asking God what I need to do. So you got to know a little bit more about Kumar, right? Like he's a younger guy. He's really enthusiastic. He's really ambitious, and he goes out every day and goes to all these villages, all these different places to share God's love with people. And he was walking 40, sometimes 60 miles a day to these places to share with these people. So I'm asking him, how did you find out about me? And he said that he was praying one night, and God spoke to him and told him that he needed to get in touch with Mike King. And so he was like, obviously conversating with God and saying, well, I don't know who Mike King is. And God told him to go on Facebook. And so he went on Facebook, and then he typed in Mike King, and there's obviously more than one Mike King out there. And then he's like, well, how will I know which person it is? And so God was like, well, just go through and I'll show you. So he started scrolling through, and sure enough, my picture came up, and he's like, contact him right there. So he reached out to me, and that's when we started talking, and I was trying to just discern and figure out, um, what God wanted me to do. So yeah, pretty cool to share my testimony halfway around the world with some other people and give them encouragement and that hope. And that one opportunity has grown into several more opportunities to share with people in the ministry work that Kumar is doing over there through his ministry, the Love of God Ministries, and being able to just to help him out and share my testimony and other things that he's asked me to share with people. He has different pastors and different women's group, and just want to share a couple pictures with you guys about what he's been doing, because I just think that it's cool, and just like I said, brag on God a little bit. So here's this. Actually, that's not the first picture. That's actually the first picture from him. Right, so he rents the screen, and then he puts it up there, and then calls me on FaceTime, and then I share with the people. So there's that one, and then there was a group of people in this church that he had me sharing with. We were just saying a little prayer, and then you can't see it, but here he is. They're having a baptism in a local river, and then here's the women's ministry that he runs. These women are all widows, right? And that they're widows. They're dedicated to being pastors and going out to their different communities where they live, and sharing with with those around them. And then there's Kumar and his wife, uh, sharing as well, or running this ministry. So there's that. Show you another one. Here's another spot. Kumar was doing some preaching at another church. And then here's actually the church that Kumar uh, built, or had built, in his local community. You know, and this was the dedication night that was going on here. So they had that, and then here's a shot from inside of the church later that night in a little service that they were putting on. And then I got a couple more for you here. Here's a little dedication of the church, Kumar, saying some words and then offering up some prayer. And then here's another from a meeting, right, on ministry. One thing, obviously, if you're in the States and you're watching this, that's the thing about India is, the women are separated from the men. So you see the men in the back, and then the women up front. And then this final one is another thing Kumar does is he goes to these different villages and rents these screens and he plays the Passion of Christ for people there so that they can watch it, and then he ministers to them, and many people are getting saved. The crazy thing, well, it's not crazy, but I mean, we may not see it in America as much, but God is moving right all across these third world countries, Iraq, Iran, Pakistan, India. Like, the Spirit of God is moving, and it's becoming unstoppable with the underground church. These people, they want truth, and they want to have a real relationship and not be tied to religion where it's just about doing things and rituals. They're crying out for something more, and the God of the Bible is answering that for these people. So that's been really cool, and it's been cool to be a part of that, and to speak to these people, and just share my story, and give them a little bit of hope as well, and to be used in that way. So that's pretty much it for tonight. Like I said, I just wanted to brag on God and what he's been doing through this page, and I wanted to thank you guys, for watching these videos and for sharing them like you do. We really have no idea the impact that these videos are making all around the world. So once again, I really appreciate it. My heart is just to help people out. It's not about me. It's about what God's doing in the hearts of men all across the country. And I know there's big things coming for men, not only in this country in America, but all around the world. God is calling men back to their rightful place in the homes and in the community. And he's calling men to accept that higher calling that he's placed on their lives as fathers, as husbands. And for so long, too long, we've been ignoring that. And now it's time to come home. So I appreciate you guys checking out this video. We'll see you again back here tomorrow for the Tuesday Thoughts. I love you guys, and as always, if you just need somebody to listen to, maybe you need a little advice on something that's going on in your life, please DM me, hit me up, and we'll make a way for that to happen. Love you guys. Talk to you tomorrow.